Well, what's going on, Dudes and Foxy Dudettes? We've got a very cool video for you today. I've got my buddies Dave and Jim with me, and we're going to discuss all the movies we're excited for 2025. There'll be a little bit of a debate in there, and we're going to give our picks, our best guesses for who's going to win Best Picture at the Oscars. Now, this was filmed before the Oscars, so you get to see who was right, who was on track. We're going to discuss and debate the state of the MCU and our true opinions on James Gunn's Superman movie that's coming out. So if all that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. We are going to talk about some upcoming movies for the year of 2025 that we're excited about. Now, in this list, things can change after we've filmed this. It's late February. Sometimes release dates get swapped out, but as of right now, they're supposed to come out this year, and we're going to talk about what we're excited for, and we're going to debate about them a little bit. I got my buddy Dave. What's going on, Dave?
What's going on? How's it going?
Doing okay. And my buddy Jim. So we got the movie crew together, and we're going to deep dive into cinema. So
that's right, 2025 movies.
Yes. Who's excited? I know I am.
I'm gonna bring a lot of negativity to this. I feel like.
No.
I can't help it, boys. I'm a hard critic.
Okay. So I guess we should just hop into it then, right? All right.
Yep.
I got my list. Jim, would you like to go first?
Well, I'm gonna name the movie that I already bought tickets for next month. Mickey 17. I'm excited for that one.
Remind me of what that is.
Hold on 1 second. Well, I crossed that off my list.
Okay.
That is Robert Pattinson in some dystopian future. I think it's based off a book or a comic or something.
Based off a novel, yes.
There, you see, this sounds like one of Dave's favorites right now.
Listen, man, I'm gonna make some people real mad real early, but after the death of the Star Wars franchise, I'm just clinging on to any new sci-fi franchise with like the faintest glimmer of hope.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be less negative.
No. You're fine. We want honest opinions here. We keep it real.
That was like a weird type of negative. That was like positively negative.
Yeah. That was the most optimistic negativity I have ever seen.
You guys already know I'm not the biggest fan of what Disney has done to Star Wars, and I really need another sci-fi franchise to latch onto.
Fair enough.
Is hopefully going to be it.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to that. I think I might go see that. I saw the trailers, actually a new trailer that when I went to go see The Monkey, and that it looked a little bit better. So I might definitely go see that.
It looks really good.
It's the same director who did Parasite too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my next anticipated one.
Well, you already got tickets for it.
Real quick, $150 million budget. So you know it's going to look legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's in that range where it's like it's not huge, but it's not small. So it could definitely, turn a profit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just from what I've seen from the trailer, you can tell that I think that you can tell that they've used the money wisely. And the things that I've seen from the trailer where I feel like you really should invest the money into, and a lot of studios don't do this. It's like trying to build that atmosphere because sci-fi is tough, right? Like it's very easy to make sci-fi look really bad because there's nothing for us to go on. Like they're literally just creating the world. So you need to like make this world sci-fi, but believable in a sense, but like still entertaining enough to be a movie. And just like looking at the environment that they've created that I've seen in the trailer, I feel very confident in saying that they spent the money wisely, and it's going to be a very immersive kind of experience and world that you're going to be brought into, especially if you go see it in a theater.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, looks fun. Okay, well, you did cross one off your list, Dave, so.
It's okay. I have another one.
Okay.
This is, as much as I'm excited for this movie, this is not my number one movie. As you could probably guess, there's no way that I could come to this podcast and not bring something video game related to it. But my number one most anticipated movie of 2025 is Until Dawn.
Dude, that's on my list.
Is it on your list?
Yes.
I thought when he said video game movie, I'm like, don't say Minecraft.
No, I would not. No, I'm a big Jack Black fan. Think he's kind of running his course on me. But anyway, that's it. I said I wasn't going to be negative. Let's go back to the positive. Of Until Dawn. Do you guys? You got that one on the list too?
I got that one.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with the game at all?
Yeah,
I didn't play the game at all.
Okay, the game itself is a very story-driven experience, and I love that the way that they've kind of created this almost like it's almost like they created like a new type of game. And we saw this game like this style of game real early with games like Heavy Rain and stuff like that. But it's a lot of story driven with a lot of quick time events that makes you feel like you're kind of playing this interactive movie. So I think an adaptation to the big screen is fairly easy. And the way that the movie is going to work is that you have these characters, and it really resembles the movie or the game very, very well, because you have these characters that have been thrown into this situation. And I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but essentially what happens is they're trying to make it out alive, right? And they keep experiencing deaths within the movie. But when they die in the movie, they come back to life and they're in the same situation, and they're kind of taking the knowledge that they've learned from the first run through and using that to try to make it further and further and further to eventually get out alive. And the way that they kind of like gave it that video game feel into, a totally non-interactive experience, I think is just brilliant. I think it's just an absolute brilliant idea.
It does look really good.
Yeah.
The special effects look really good too.
Yeah. And I mean, go ahead, Jim.
I'm a little salty by how great this looks, because it's a PlayStation title, right? And how great this was executed, how great this was made. It makes me like, why couldn't they just put like this minute effort into the Uncharted movie? Like, I'm gonna be negative for a little bit, because I had like high hopes. Like, I saw like the Nathan Fillion, like the fan video on YouTube, and I'm just like, he's like a really great candidate, or like anything to like this, to this level of trueness to the title, to be like, really salted by just like, not only like Tom Holland, just, I get you put it like a Hollywood title, but like having Mark, whatever his name is, as Sully,
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. I was just like, ugh. I was like, you just put Mark Wahlberg in an Uncharted movie. That's not Sully.
Sully was an older character, man. I see where you're going with that. I don't know. It kind of we're going a little bit off topic, but the Uncharted movies to me really felt like they wanted to recapture that like early Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider vibe, and like that wasn't really like, if you played Uncharted, it was definitely that vibe. Like you're doing the tomb hunting and stuff like that, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel like I was playing Tomb Raider when I played Uncharted. It was a very different feel. So that adaptation of like trying to mimic this, Angelina Jolie early Tomb Raider stuff, I think they'd missed the mark. I feel like this movie was made by a bunch of people that never played the game, so like they didn't really have a feel. Whereas this Until Dawn, I feel like these people have like a very clear understanding of what the game itself is about, and translated that well to the screen. They made a movie from the game, whereas Uncharted just kind of made a movie that was like kind of like a game.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's like they just knew, like for Uncharted, it was like we know how it goes, we know what the story is, so we're gonna kind of like make a movie. We didn't play the game. We just heard how it went. We read a synopsis real quick on Wikipedia, and
like they looked up like best moments of Uncharted, and they put like the plane in there. They put like the ships. They put like so many of the things that weren't there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Tom Holland just looked a little young for the role. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, but one more thing on Uncharted is like I really love the idea, because honestly, if you go through the Uncharted trailers and kind of look in the comments, there's almost like this split in the comments of people that are, more of like a purist form, and then more of like a casual player form, because there's a lot of people that play the Until Dawn style games, and the way that you play it, like the difference between playing the game and playing the movie is, in the game, your characters perma-die. right? So when you're playing runs and stuff like this and you're going through the story, your players do not come back to life like how they do in this movie, right? So you have a school of people that are kind of upset about this idea of them coming back. But for me, like when I'm playing the Until Dawn games, for me, a complete run isn't like, I haven't beaten the game until I do a complete run where I've kept every single character alive, right? So I'm kind of looking at it as like playing the game through multiple playthroughs instead of just playing the game one time and just like, oh, if somebody dies, like whatever, that was my playthrough. Like I want to learn from what I did wrong in my first playthroughs, play it again, and I want to see the true ending where you keep everybody alive. And I think they did the movie in the aspect of like, we're thinking of like these types of players that want to see the true ending of when everybody's maintained, you know, everybody stays alive till the end. So I love that they went that route, and these characters don't permadeath.
It looks cool. Kind of reminds me a little bit of The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, a little bit.
That definitely. Because like I said, I'm not really familiar with that game. Did you say that was your number one, Dave?
Number one, yeah.
That is your number one? Jim, was the other one your number one?
No, just like the next one.
Okay. All right, then I'll give my number one right now. I'm really excited for Ballerina.
Also on my list.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, I kind of figured it would be on your list too, Dave. We're big fans of John Wick, and Jim, I know you like him too. But
I'm a big Ana de Armas fan.
I am too.
My dog.
My girlfriend knows.
I like how he takes a sip. He's just like, I let her in on the secret.
If I have the shot, no, I'm just kidding. Kind of.
She's on the list.
She's on the list for sure.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, a huge John Wick fan, like I said. Apparently, we all are. The action scenes from what they showed in that trailer look really cool. Having Keanu Reeves show up in it in that trailer, I mean that I think really put it over the top. I think there were some mixed reactions to the Continental mini-series. I don't know what exactly, if you would call it a mini-series. It was like a 3 2-hour movies.
I didn't watch it, I'll be honest.
You didn't watch it?
No.
Okay, so it was like 3 2-hour movies. I think they were calling it like a limited series or whatever. But I think there was just a little bit of disappointment in that. I liked it enough. I thought it was good. But really sticking to the fact that this is in the same universe, having Keanu Reeves show up and, they're like, Baba Yaga. And it's like, yeah, all right, I'm in.
Do you know why he's back? Because this is technically set between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
because there was that confusion too. From like I showed it to my boss, and he was just like, "I thought he died in the last one." I was like, "No, this
Spoiler
is like
alert."
Oh.
Spoiler.
In case you haven't seen John Wick chapter, it's okay. You have plenty of time to see it. But yeah, I mean, they've even kind of done some scenes from John Wick 3 at a different angle. Mm-hmm. She's the ballerina that was dancing on the stage when he goes to the to see Angelica Houston. So I'm excited. What say you guys?
I'm excited.
You don't even got to ask, bro. I'm beyond excited.
I know.
Yeah, you already know. You already know. You already know. Yeah. Ana de Armas. Spiciest of senoritas, man.
Well, she's kicking ass. I was sold at that. I mean, it could have just been her kicking ass. I'm sold on it. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No.
I think honestly, what really helped her. I'm like, and then I'm going back on my James Bond rant a little bit. If you guys watch No Time to Die, like she has like just she's in like one scene in the movie, where they're in Cuba, and I feel like the John Wick people saw that scene and they're like, number one, she can kick ass and she looks good while doing it, and number two, she'd be great in the John Wick universe, because she was like. It was. I was hoping she would come back later in that movie, but for her to now have like an actual feature debut of this character, I see this like, since if Keanu Reeves does or doesn't want to come back for more John Wick movies, she can easily carry the franchise. I think.
Oof. I mean, she could carry it. I don't know about easily, but she'd probably carry it, right?
I think so. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
And I do have high hopes for like the fight scenes in it, right? Because if you really think about it, you know, the fight scenes is what makes John Wick, and the effort and like level of like dedication that Keanu Reeves puts into his role to make sure that those scenes look and feel the way that they need to look and feel. I think she's going to use that as like motivation to try to be just as good as him. And like this whole concept of like being a ballerina and also an assassin, like these fight scenes, as much as we want to believe and like get into the moment that they're real and, you know, they're really fighting, they're really not. They're choreography, which is the same exact thing as learning like a dance move, right? So having this whole set of her just being able to, you know, translate these learning the choreography of the dance moves into learning the choreography of the fight scenes, I have really, really, really high hopes for like the things that we're going to be able to see from this.
Yes, for sure.
And on a slightly depressing note, Lance Reddick's final role. So
yeah. Unfortunately, he was good.
I brought it all down. We were so happy that I brought it all down.
With respect, though.
With respect.
You brought it down with respect. Okay. Jim, your next pick.
I've got like a straight tie number one between, and I'm gonna do this, and we'll go based off of reaction. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning or Superman is my number one.
No question.
Yeah, I already know.
There's no question. Also on my list, by the way. So you guys are gonna have a great podcast in about 10 minutes, and I'll just get out of the way.
Mission Impossible's on my list.
Superman is on my list, and I think it's a interesting choice for my number 2 movie because it is my number 2 movie. But I don't know, Jim. I don't know if you feel the same way, but is like Superman. Are you less excited about the Superman idea and just more excited to see where DC is going?
I didn't grow up really watching like the Christopher Reeve and stuff. Like I watched those later. And I watched Henry Cavill obviously become Superman, but I'm not like a diehard like Snyder fan and like all the toxicity behind all that. I see James Gunn's like direction in where he's kind of wanting to take the DC universe, where it's a little bit more like fantastical and a little bit more comic booky, kind of like what he did with the what he did with the Guardians movies and what he did with the newer Suicide Squad movie, where like it felt a lot more fun and jovial and it was just fun to watch. And when I saw this trailer, like, I mean, I got chills. I got like inspired. Like I wanted to just wear a suit to the Superman premiere and just have the Superman shirt or the suit peeking out from the chest and just go, just do this.
That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it.
And I've never felt
popcorn.
Excited. Exactly. Yeah. I've never, like, even like the Spider-Man movies, like I got excited about, but this was like the first time I've ever gotten excited about like a Superman movie on a level I never thought that I would. And the reason I think it might be my number one is because I don't think I'm as excited to watch the Mission Impossible movie, even though Tom Cruise putting himself in just like death-defying stunts for our entertainment, and he might die or he might not. We won't know until we watch the movie. Is like those are all cool, and I love his dedication to just do like all the real stunts and everything and the stories, and I like the franchise that it's been going. But this has me on a joyous and an inspirational level more than just entertainment. Like it's a little bit over to be just more than a movie. But I think I talked to Chris a little bit, and he's got a little bit of a different opinion on it.
Yeah, it absolutely did nothing for me. I'm glad it did something for you. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad you guys are excited.
And we passed the negative hat over.
Yeah, so I'll put that on. Yeah. I am not a big James Gunn fan, to be honest. There's a couple things he's done that I've liked. His direction for DC has got me a little nervous as a DC fan. We've talked about it before, but I'm an unapologetic Batman fan. I grew up with DC, and, I don't know. I thought there's some weird choices. I always like to wait and kind of, wait in my opinion until I see a trailer, and then that was the trailer that we saw. It just kind of left me I wouldn't say underwhelmed, just whelmed.
Just whelmed.
Just whelmed.
What part? I'm curious about this. What part of the trailer gave you that sense of like, uh-oh?
There was a few parts. We'll cut for Guy Gardner, how he looked. It looked the costumes look a little cheap to me, to be honest. Not loving that.
I think it'll be explained in the movie. I think, like, I've heard rumors of why the costumes look a certain way.
Okay, and that's fair enough. I'm just saying, for me, it just looks, it's enough to be concerning. James Gunn has a formula that just seems to, everything has a dance scene, everything has an animal in it, everything, and if you're excited about that, that's what gets you into it, then you're going to be real happy with the trailer, and you're going to be real excited for the movie. If those things kind of like, you're kind of disappointed by those things or find it a little bit boring, then you're not going to be. I mean, I've said it before, we're going to have a dance scene with Mom, Pa Kent in the cornfield, and I'm like, Crypto is going to show up, the dog will play a big part in it, So far, I was right with Crypto. We'll have to wait and see for Mom, Pa Kent's dance scene in the cornfield. So yeah, that kind of is where I'm at with it.
All right, I feel you.
I take it you disagree. Feel free to.
Yeah, no, I'll just be 100% honest because like I said, I don't want to be negative and I don't want to be.
I've got your hat right now, so
yeah, no, and Chris is where I'm rocking the hat right now, so it makes it real hard. But I think it's important to the conversation because I'm going to be perfectly honest. Chris, am with you. I'm not the hugest James Gunn fan, personally, on my opinion, and I'm an avid comic book reader. I have been my entire life. I don't love Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, the entire franchise, I just don't think is very good. Outside of, like, Chris Pratt's kind of quirkiness and, some of the things, like, the whole Dave Bautista and, like, I could do without all of that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not a fan. But I think one thing that everybody can agree on is that DC has always been in kind of this weird spot where no matter what they do with any type of live action movie, it always just gets hit with negative reactions. And they brought in James Gunn because they're looking for the same formula that Marvel can just continuously put out the same movie every year and a half and people flock to the theater to go see it.
3 times a year.
Three times a year, we're going to put out the same Marvel movie as always, and it will sell an infinite number of tickets and be the greatest movie of all time. And I think they're kind of searching for that formula. So as much as I'm not the hugest James Gunn fan, I'm just excited for the fact that DC did anything because they recognized that there was a real problem and that they needed to do something or just give up on live action movies altogether and maintain their status with animated movies, which for whatever reason, their animated movies always do very, very well. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan, but I am excited to see where he kind of takes the franchise, because in my personal opinion, I feel like any type of change is better than what they've been doing. And this is really the first time that we get to see him with like no reins off, right? So if you really look at like his situation at Marvel, you got to remember that he was still working for Disney. So as much as he wanted to have creative insight and do his own thing, he still needed to maintain certain things in order to make Disney executives happy. So like this idea of like, there's got to be an animal and everything, and like there needs to be X, Y, and Z. Like a lot of that could be a little bit of Disney and stuff like that. And even the Suicide Squad movie that we saw, he was restricted. You know what I mean? Like it was a movie that he had to still follow certain plot elements for, and character development was already there and stuff like that. This is really like his first chance to just be like, you have a clean slate. Like, do what you want to do. And I'm excited to see what he does to DC as a whole. And Chris knows this. I'm not the biggest Superman fan either. So like, I'm not a huge James Gunn fan. I'm not a huge Superman fan. I think personally, Superman as a character is pretty boring. Just the idea of just having all of this, super strength and frost breath and laser eyes, and he can fly and he's super fast and he can like make the world spin fast, and
and
like
he could never die, and
he can never die. He's invincible.
I always felt the same way too. I always felt like he's like the Boy Scout. And I don't really care about the Boy Scout. I care about the underdog. I care about the guy who might die, who might get hurt, who maybe doesn't have any powers. Like I always gravitated towards like a Batman or like or like a Captain America, a Daredevil, or just
Right.
like something else.
So, I mean, again, I'm not super excited about James Gunn. I'm not super excited about Superman, but I'm more excited just to see what's going to happen to the DC universe when all reins are off and you just have this freedom to start over and make it what you want it to be. And I think this is going to set a precedent to what's going to happen to characters that I actually care a lot about going down the line. So Superman, if it is what they want it to be, down the line, we're obviously going to get Batman. We're obviously going to get the Flash. We're going to get the Green Lantern. And then we start diving into characters that I do really care about. And I do really want to see brought to the big screen the proper way. And this is going to be my test to see if that's going to happen.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So juiced. I want to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, I've never been a huge Superman fan either. It's and I think that's why I was interested enough in Henry Cavill's Superman, was because it was more, not so much about he can do so much. He can punch, a villain and knock him into the next city, but all these issues of them coming down on him, but should he? Which that really weighed down on him was interesting to me. That showed the character like why can't I can do all this stuff, but should I, if everybody else is against me or upset at me for being able to do it? I just thought that was a very interesting take on it.
Yeah, and I mean the source material is there. Like if you want to do a deep dive on Superman, his story is actually very intricate. You know what I mean? It's this idea of his home planet getting destroyed, coming to Earth alone, growing up, with the context of the story is there if you want to make it more leaning away from comic booky, campy, quirky kind of, if you really want to go dramatic. And I think Henry Cavill did a great job at that. So, I mean, I think the source material is there too. If you want to take it, he can really take it in any direction he wants. You know what I mean? And I'm excited to see what he's going to do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then hopefully it's good. And then hopefully we get an awesome Flash movie that doesn't rely on Michael Keaton coming back as Batman to make it good. Boom.
The negative hack just got passed a little.
Yeah, here.
I'm a tough critic, guys. I'm sorry. I love y'all. I'm sorry.
I do believe it's your pick, Dave.
Okay. My list has just been obliterated. So let's go ahead and throw one out here. And this is funny of me throwing this out here after I just crapped on Disney for the last half hour. I'm a little bit excited for Tron Ares. Is anybody excited for Tron Ares?
I have it on my list.
Is it on your list?
But there's it's on the list, but it's it was going to be part of the honorable mentions because there's no information about it.
Yeah, okay.
Other than Jared Leto, which is why it's in the honorable mentions.
Right. And I just real quick, we all know the elephant in the room, the unforgivable act that Jared Leto has done by his portrayal of the Joker. But if you forget that for a second.
Okay, one sec. Okay, Morbius. Oh, wait, shit.
Okay, also Morbius. But if you forget those two, outside of that, I do feel like he has a good range. And I think when he's not asked to play a comic book character, he's actually a very good actor. And I think he's going to do great. This is supposed to be a passing of the torch to Jared Leto to kind of take the reins on this franchise. And I think he's going to do great in this franchise. And I think he really has the mindset for this, because if you look at a lot of the things that he's done in his own projects, and if you listen to the lyrics in 30 Seconds to Mars, he really loves this kind of industrial AI take over the world. He loves this stuff, you know what I mean? And I think this is kind of a perfect role for him. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think he's going to do a very good job. I think this idea of AI kind of and this digital world is even more relevant in 2025. And a very small note, and I don't know how this is going to work because they're operating under Disney, but Nine Inch Nails will be doing the score to this movie. And I'm super excited to see what Trent Reznor does when he works for Disney. Yeah, so super excited for this. Another one where I'm super excited to see it, but I'm super excited to see it because I just want to see it to see what it is. Yeah.
So I have the poster as one of the things, but this is not even an official poster, but it's something somebody made already.
Mm.
But I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a Tron movie coming out.
Yeah.
Forgot about it too until I was like looking at the list of like what's coming out so I can make my list. And I'm just like, Tron? Are they really doing that? Okay.
And I'm an old head, man. Like I love the Tron series. I still watch the original movie from the 80s. Like I just love the series. So they can kind of do no wrong.
Yeah. Oh.
You show me that light bike, and I'm just like I'm just like a kid at a candy store. I'm like, I want that. Give me a light bike. Give me a light bike.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be cool. I'll definitely go see it. I saw the second one in IMAX. I thought that was kind of a little bit of a letdown, like the 3D IMAX.
Mixed reviews, yeah.
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 I mean, I just mean in general the 3D IMAX part of it for that movie, that particular movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The movie itself was okay. Plus, it had Olivia Wilde, right? Wasn't she in the second one?
I believe so. Yeah.
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 I like Olivia Wilde, so.
Yeah. Same, brother. Same.
Okay. We're done with Tron. I think I'll move on to my second pick.
Good go.
Moving on. Go a little basic here. I'm really looking forward to Jurassic World Rebirth. I don't know if you guys feel the same. I don't know if that's on your list.
That's on the honorable mention list.
On your honorable mentions?
That's like I was excited about Jurassic World. Like Jurassic World, like I was like, oh my god, Jurassic Park is back. Like the franchise is great. And then the second movie and the third movie were like diminishing return for me. That I was like, I did not enjoy really like the last one. Since I saw it in theaters, I don't think I've gone back and watched it just because they're like, oh, you guys remember how all the dinosaurs are in the world now? Well, we're going to pay attention to these locusts and the crops.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, we're going to bring back everybody. I was like, okay, but everybody's just going to like have their hands out to dinosaurs and that's how we're going to stop them. That's it. I was like,
I agree with all that. But dinosaurs. I can't just dinosaurs. I see dinosaurs, and it's like, no, because I'm with you with the locust, man. Like, I'm like watching, and they're like, oh, that's this giant locust from the Jurassic period. Where did these come from? Who did this? And it's like, oh, maybe the company that's been making dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. So, writing was on the wall. But no, I'm looking forward to this one, especially with, these are like the reject dinosaurs, which
it's that, and it's so funny you said reject because that was like a little note that I had here. I was like, not only are they like the reject like dinosaurs, these are like the rejected Disney actors. Aside from like the guy who was in Wicked, Scarlett Johansson, they're like the rejected Black Widow.
Yup.
Mashallah Ali, the rejected Blade.
Yeah,
this movie's coming out before his Blade movie comes out, and who even knows if it's coming out at this point? But he's going to be hunting dinosaurs before he's hunting vampires.
Yeah, he signed on for this because of the gap in Blade, because Blade got pushed back again. So they're like, oh yeah, he's like, I got time, I can do Jurassic World. But just the idea of the these are reject dinosaurs. A lot of people are calling them mutations.
These are the dinosaurs that in sophomore year were under the bleachers smoking cigarettes, cutting class, man.
Yeah.
These are too dangerous, too cool to put in the bar.
These are too cool to be in Gen Pop, bro.
They're on the fringe. But it looks pretty cool. And I mean, 3 Spinosauruses, and I think that looks cool.
Do you know what's better than 2 Spinosauruses? 3 Spinosauruses.
3 Spinosauruses. Tri-spine.
And what do you guys think of that weird? Now that would be, I guess, would be a mutant or whatever.
It's like the gorilla, or like the Rangor looking thing.
The internet is calling it the D-Rex. I don't know, but
I was waiting for like you were gonna break down exactly why they were calling that, and I was like, oh, like waiting for this like facts. You're just like, I don't know.
It's like, break it down. What does the D stand for in D-Rex?
Yeah, it's internet people that came up with the name. I don't know. I saw it. Okay, but apparently it's got 6 limbs. They're figuring it's got like 6 limbs or something like that. So
Arachnoidsaurus.
Something like that, and it's supposed to, like, the head kind of looks like the xenomorph from Aliens a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So D is for diabolical.
Or disaster, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'm with you though, bro. Jurassic Park, for whatever reason for me, and I don't know if this is nostalgia just because I kind of grew up watching the original movie. And like, it's so funny if you watch the original movie, like that movie still holds up, man. Like the level of like cinematic and like CG that they put into the dinosaurs in that original movie, it's crazy that it still holds up today and those look real. But I don't know. Jurassic Park always gets a free pass for me. I almost treat it like an action movie or like a Godzilla movie or something like that. Like, plot is irrelevant to me. Like, I don't care what happens in your movie. Just show me dinosaurs. Like, I just want to see dinosaurs eat stuff.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just cool.
As long as there's no more locusts, we're good.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And like they fed all the locusts to the rejected dinosaurs. It's like, okay, good, finally. I've got Fantastic Four on my list.
Oh, buddy.
I know.
Sell me. Sell me.
I'm excited just because I don't like, this is, instead of like, you know, Captain America Brave New World, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but like, like the trailers really just show the whole movie. Thunderbolts, I feel like they did the same thing there too. Fantastic Four has kind of got me like on a curiosity level, just because they're showing like hints here and there of like what the story's going to be. It's future. It's like a future, but it's a retro society. But there's also like a scene in like there's like a New York City like skyline view, but it doesn't look like the same as like the future society anymore. So is it like multiple dimensions? Like, are they going to come into the MCU? Are they escaping their reality? Did they already escape? Like, and like I was a fan of the original like Fantastic Four. I didn't really like the last interpretation of them, and this one, I don't know. I like that retro aesthetic, especially in a movie. I'm a fan of Pedro Pascal. And, you know, him in The Last of Us, him in The Mandalorian. So now seeing him as, like, Reed Richards, I kind of would have wanted John Krasinski to still stay maybe as Reed Richards because it was, like, fan casting. But if they're going to go into, like, you know, future movies and beyond, then I'm just excited to see this. Plus the potential of seeing Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom somewhere in the movie, just because he's a pretty big character towards the Fantastic Four. So any hint towards that, I'm excited about too. And the negative hat just got split.
I was patiently waiting for you, Chris. Go for it. Hit him.
Well, I'm going to be polite and hand that off to my guest. So, Dave.
Oh, that's very, very kind. Okay, so here's the thing with the Fantastic Four movie. I want this movie to be good. Mm-hmm. I want so badly for this movie to be good because the Fantastic Four is the well that you just continuously go back and drink from and get sick. And I just don't want to go back to the well and get sick again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think, and dude, Fantastic Four is like one of the longest running comic book franchises of all time. Like the source material is there, the character development is there. There's a fan base for it. I do think that the characters themselves are interesting and they translate to the screen very, very well. And for whatever reason, they just can't seem to pull it together to get something that fans love and something that sticks. I'm a fan of the Pedro Pascal casting as well. I think when it comes to Reed Richards, I think he has a great personality for it because he almost has that same personality like we've seen in like the playful version of Pedro Pascal. And I think that's going to translate into the character very, very well. I unfortunately am on the other side of the coin when it comes to Robert Downey as Dr. Doom. I think Robert Downey Jr. has cemented himself in my brain as Iron Man. And I think seeing him in another role, specifically on a different side of the coin, portraying such a sinister and like important villain in the MCU, I think I'm going to have a hard time grasping that. I think as much as some fans really want to see him come back to the MCU, I don't think this is the way that he should do it. So silently, I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. But if it does, it seems like a lot of people will be very, very happy. So I mean, that's fine. I guess that's fine. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody wants. It's fine. But I just, I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily what I wanted, but it's just, I just kind of like, I just have to accept because it is what it is. So I just have to optimistically anticipate that it's hopefully going to be good. And that's what I've been doing. And I feel like that's what I've been doing now. I think ever since like Endgame, I feel like that's how almost the entire world feels that way. Like even in like recent news, like Amazon having full creative control of James Bond now. I'm like, now I feel like how like everybody's been feeling about Star Wars and Marvel the last couple of years, where it's like spin-offs and this and prequels and this and blah. I'm like, now my franchise that I've loved for almost for like as long as I can remember, I feel like it's gonna get the same treatment. And I'm like, but like Amazon, what have they done good? And like, it took me a long time to realize, I'm like, oh, they did Fallout. I was like, Fallout was a great series. I was like, that felt like the video game. That felt like really great. And then I'm like, but nothing really else besides that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just a little bit more optimistic, I guess, for good or ill. Chris?
You need to be the tiebreaker. No, you see, this totally backfired. You letting me go first. Now you're the deciding vote.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Dave. I'm sorry. I mean, to me, Robert Downey Jr. casting as Dr. Doom is just weird because it was like, I don't want to do Iron Man anymore, or he just wanted to step away, and now, okay, I'm willing to come back. So then, just come back as Iron Man. If that's what you really want, then come back as Iron Man. That's what people really want anyway. Okay, we may not get Iron Man 4, but, supporting roles in other Marvel movies, people would go crazy for it, and more Avengers. And it always seems like the Marvel movies, and it's for good reason, like the actors, they always want to make sure that, their face is shown. I mean, even there's scenes in like some of the other movies where, their masks come off for no reason, or even in like Spider-Man movies when like the Amazing Spider-Man, when Spidey's chasing the lizard and Andrew Garfield like hops down in the sewer and decides to take his mask off to go like find him. It's just stuff like that I'm thinking, okay, Dr. Doom, we never see his face, and now we're gonna see his face because it's Robert Downey Jr. So that is weird to me. Plus the 60s thing. It's almost like why not just set it in the regular MCU? Again, I'm sure they have a story and a reason planned out, but it's just me. Does that make any sense to anybody?
It does. I mean, it does. And I think one of the things, like you said, like why doesn't it just take place in the regular MCU? It's just another Marvel thing, like biting themselves in the ass. Like they literally just went through all of the nonsense in the Deadpool movie to be like, listen, there's a lot of garbage in the Marvel universe right now, and we're getting rid of all of that. Like it's all like, you know what I mean? Like this is our kind of crowning moment of just saying like everything that's happened in the past is dead. And then they're like, the MCU is the only thing that matters. And then literally one of the very next movies that comes out, they're like, we're doing a different timeline in a different place, and you're like, you just fixed this, you dummies.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like the whole 5-year time difference for like Endgame, I always thought like that's the best way you could write that or figure things out. Like
right.
You had to put like you're really like bottlenecking yourself and shooting yourself in the foot by making that timeline different. I mean, what do I know? I mean, it just seems like Marvel's always been with, especially in the comics, they're like, 616 universe, that's the only one that matters. They used to brag about, we don't have to have reboots. We don't have to have alternate timelines. We don't really have to do this. And then now their movies are embracing that. Like hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I talk about this all the time. It's just laziness. It's lazy writing.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just go into every movie knowing that you don't really have to stick to anything that's happened before, because you always have this out of just saying, we're going to a different universe. We're going to a different timeline. We're starting over. We're starting fresh. It's a lazy writing, and it makes the writing worse because you don't have to worry about anything except for the one movie that you're a part of then and there. And this whole idea of like, for the most part, just negating anything that happened previous and not worrying about anything that's going to happen into the future, I don't think is a great way to write a script. You know what I mean?
I think I can just defend them for like a second, only because there was a whole plan. There was like an entire thing leading up to it, and like both of you guys are like, what was it? Kang the Conqueror. Jonathan Majors being fired from Disney, it kind of shifted everything into what it's going now. That's why like I feel like it was leading up to like the Kang Dynasty, and and it was going to be Secret Wars anyways, but now it's just going to be with Doom. And it was going to be like the whole multiversal war and everything, and it was probably going to get fixed and sealed, but the whole controversy between him and the divorce, and now they're even thinking about bringing him back because it was everything's all finalized and everything, kind of like how they brought back James Gunn to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, for good or ill, whether you liked it or not. That's kind of just what had happened because of his controversial tweets and stuff too. So I feel like there was like a sense of direction, and then it got shifted, and now it's just kind of scrambling just to make money. And it's all good, and it's fine, but there's also like the fans that are like introducing adamantium into the MCU through the eternal celestial skeleton. Now it kind of ruins Wolverine's origin, because now since adamantium is here now, that means it couldn't have been before during like his original comic book timeline and run. It's, I mean, for good or ill, it's going to be what it's going to be, but that's why I feel like the shift towards the DC movies now under his run, exactly like how Dave said, it's going to be interesting to follow and see how those are going to be perceived now. I feel like the DCU is going to be the next MCU, but a whole lot more concise and a lot more of a direction than what it kind of feels now.
I mean, that's 100% what I'm hoping for, to be honest. I'm right there with you. And like, as much as I talk garbage about the MCU and Marvel themselves as a company, like, yes, obviously you do bring up very, very good points. And I think, you know what, like, what do I know? Because they're the highest grossing movies of all time. So maybe I'm just like this comic book purist fanboy, and like, like maybe I'm the minority, you know what I mean? I just, in the grand scheme of things, I just, like you said, I mean, there might have been a plan. I just feel like they, for whatever reason, got really far away from it. And I sadly don't think that they're making enough of an effort to try to get back to like, okay, let's write something with purpose. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with them. Purposeful writing, guys. We need purposeful writing. Not just sell tickets to this movie. I want you to think of the because they're all about like MCU. We're all in it together. Well, blah 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 blah. And then you see all these movies, and you're just like, you didn't write this for the MCU. You wrote this for this movie. You're not paying attention to what other people are doing within the universe, and that's where the context starts getting like, like Jim said with the origins of Wolverine and stuff like that. Like that's where it starts getting messy. There needs to be just one guy who kind of oversees like continuity throughout the entire like the MCU and all of these spin-offs. I'm like, no, wait, you're contradicting yourself. There needs to be that guy, and I don't think they have that guy.
That was one of the issues they were having, like with some of the Disney Plus shows, was like, they had writers for that, and then they had writers for the movies, like, and they didn't talk, they didn't consult. So that's like issues with what was the one with Scarlet Witch, the show?
WandaVision?
WandaVision, yeah. Like, the people that wrote, like, Doctor Strange, too, like, didn't talk to the WandaVision writers, or had no clue about it or anything, and so that's why that was some of the controversy there, so, yeah.
Dave, you got any upcoming?
Movies?
Any more anticipated ones?
Oh, any more anticipated ones? I do have one left. So now is your opportunity for you guys to just crap on me. If you guys want to share, if you guys want to just share the hat.
Hold on.
Jim's like all excited. He's
let me guess what it is. I'm gonna name 4 movies that I just have as just not even honorable mentions, but just like mentions.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I need to put my poker face on. All right.
All right. I said it as a joke earlier, but Minecraft.
No.
I'm gonna say that one for last. Lilo.
That's probably it. That's
Lilo
probably
and
it.
Stitch.
No, it is not Lilo and Stitch. I'm super excited to see what they do with Lilo and Stitch, though. I love how they're pushing Lilo and Stitch. Like, we're doing live action Lilo and Stitch. Also, Stitch is still obviously animated.
Right, like how they said like the live action Lion King. I was like, they're all animated though.
They're all animated. So funny.
I think it's funny too that like all the promos are just live action versions of the animated ones that they did. Like we're just doing the same stuff. We'll have the new live action Stitch hold up the live action Simba, and we'll just redo that. Why be creative?
Okay, let's see. I think it's gonna be like a very close between like these three that I have. It's gonna be either How to Train Your Dragon live action. 28 years later.
Oh, that was an honorable mention, but no. Now I'm nervous that this movie isn't really coming out in 2025. I'm going to be honest, but hit me with the last one.
It might not be on my list, but it's Avatar: Fire and Water.
No, not on the list.
Or
None of it.
Fire and Ash. Fire and Ash. Sorry.
No, not on the list. Now I'm super nervous. Does this movie not come out?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Final Destination: Bloodlines.
No, it's not that either.
That's on my list, though.
That was for Chris.
That's on mine.
I knew that one was going to be for Chris.
Is Predators Badlands not coming out 2025?
I think it is.
I think it is, right?
Yeah, and there's another one that comes before it, from what I've heard.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oddly enough, this is funny.
We're getting two Predator movies this year.
Yeah.
What a great year, guys.
And
what a
there's
great
an
year.
Alien TV show, too?
Yeah, there's an Alien TV show.
Yeah.
I watched Prey for the first time last night.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's on Tubi. Because I don't have Hulu or Disney Plus. And I was like, oh, this is on Tubi for free? Okay, cool. And I watched it, and I'm like, oh, this was actually really good. I can understand like why people really liked it. So I like looked up, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, they were talking about like doing a sequel, like a direct sequel to that with the same girl. But then I knew they were coming out with another one, with Badlands, and I looked, and they're like, yeah, Badlands. They're like, it's going to be the 7th movie in the franchise. And I'm like, well, they just said in the synopsis that Prey was the 5th. And I looked up, and they're like, yeah, the guy, the same director, shot a secret Predator movie that's supposed to release at some point this year before Badlands.
Oh, wow.
So, again, you can take that with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's accurate or if that's actually going to happen, but
I mean, I'm here
so
for
excited.
it. I'm here for it. I mean, it probably sounds like a stupid choice coming from me, who's very critical, obviously very critical of movies and a hard critic to please, but for whatever reason, the Predator movies just always has nostalgia with me. It was one of those movies that my dad like really enjoyed watching, and I would watch with him. So I've seen the original Predator probably 300, 400 times. Like, it's just one of those movies that I watched as a kid, and I really fell in love with the character. And like Chris said, like Prey was like surprisingly good. I had super low expectations. I'm like, I cannot believe they're doing this. In my negative very critical brain, I'm like, they're going to destroy this. I watched the movie, I'm like, wow, this is surprisingly good. And then to bring back Arnold, like, I don't care, I get it, it's gimmicky, he's old, but like, even just to have him in the movie a little bit, kind of like, I don't know, it just hits that nostalgia spot for me. And the Predator's sick, man. Predator's sick. He's a badass. He's a total badass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. I agree. And Jim, it looks like you agree too.
I do agree. Yeah, no, I honestly, well, it wasn't on my list. I think I forgot to include it in it, or I wasn't really sure, because that was like the tail end ones, like the Avatar: Fire and Ash. Like, it says it's releasing later this year, but like same as like Tron, same as I think like up until like a couple weeks ago, I was like, everybody's talking about like the Final Destination movies coming out this year. That was like, there's little to no information or no trailers or nothing in there to where it would hint that it would be coming out this year. But no, I'm excited about it. I liked Prey. I think like 2 nights ago, I just had it on, the original Predators with Arnold too.
So good.
And then like when he's just like covering himself in mud, and then he like lights everything on fire and just like yells. I'm like, oh, cool.
It's
He's
just
ready.
quintessential 80s action, man. Like, there's just just a cool character That's it's an homage to the times. Like the original Predator was all done with makeup. There's no CGI. Like it's prosthetics and makeup. It's old school 1980s action with Arnold in the height of being Arnold, and it's just that vibe is going to be super hard to recreate. You know, just that whole 80s action movie vibe. It's going to be hard to like do that in 2025. But even if they do like a fraction of it in this new movie, like I think it's going to be enough that where I'm going to get that nostalgic kick and be like, I'm glad I saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be real cool. Okay, so for my next pick, I still got some good ones on here. Overachiever here. My list is like 20 movies deep. So.
Oh my gosh.
I did rattle off a few while I was trying to guess Dave's, so I don't know.
Yeah, there was a couple that you mentioned, like I didn't have on here, but like.
Well, don't worry, Chris, because we have plenty of time because I totally underachieved and my list is dead.
One movie that looks interesting that I don't know very much about, besides I've seen the trailers, is Sinners.
Ooh,
I have that on my list.
Michael B. Jordan looks good.
I hate that the second trailer spoils everything.
Does it though? Because I've seen the second trailer. I'm like,
I think second trailer is misdirection, if we're gonna be honest.
No,
okay.
I think second trailer is just like we need as much people to watch this movie as possible. Because when I watched the first trailer, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I can vaguely see like the timeline, or I can maybe kind of piece together. I think until the end of the first trailer, I don't know that they're like hunting vampires. And then at the second trailer, you kind of find out who are vampires. And I was like, oh, like when we went to go watch Companion, like recently in the movie theater, like I was with my girlfriend, like I had to tell her like, oh, this is a trailer. This is a movie I want to watch. Don't watch the trailer. It's like, absolutely stay away from this trailer. So like I had her like close her eyes and like covered her ears. And I was like, do not watch this trailer. Do not, like, if you see this online, if you see Michael B. Jordan in a movie trailer, skip it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that the vampires are going to be in it until I read like an article. And it's like, and Haley Steinfeld is as a sexy vampire. And I'm like, oh, is that what we're doing in this movie? Okay, all right, I'm there. I didn't realize.
Okay, but also as a Bills fan, Haley over T Swift, right? Right.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
My man. There we go. Thank you. All right, thank you.
You subtly approve, Jim? I see you.
No. Wait. I was confused about the rivalry. That's why I was like, as a Bills fan, Haley over Taylor Swift? Like,
oh, Haley Steinfeld is dating Josh Allen, and Taylor Swift is dating our arch rival Travis Kelce.
Oh, okay. No, then either way, I'm here for Haley.
I'm sorry. that just cut this part out.
No, it's actually pretty funny.
But yeah, man, I'm excited for this movie, and I think I should have probably put it on my list. I don't know. I did kind of think maybe the second trailer was just a smidge of a red herring. I want to believe that like the vampires are just a piece of a bigger picture, because I feel like they really went through a lot of trouble to not disclose what this movie was about, and to let it all just kind of hang out in a second trailer feels a bit odd. Now, if this is accurate and like this movie just is straight up about vampires, I wouldn't be surprised. But a little piece of me, and this might just be like a glimmer of hope kind of feeling, is that they did a lot to really kind of hide this story and to just let it all kind of fly out on a second trailer. It seems a little bit odd. I wouldn't be surprised if the vampires are, like I said, like a piece of a bigger thing. This feels like more, I don't know. This almost has like demonic vibes to it. Like maybe the vampires are like a subsection to this like bigger thing that's like the actual problem. That's what I'm hoping, at least. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I saw the trailers, like I was thinking like either cult or some kind of undead or supernatural thing. I mean, obviously vampires are supernatural, but I mean, like I wasn't thinking vampires until I read the article, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it looks good, and it's a little bit of an odd direction for Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are on. I mean, I think it'll be good. And I think that's why the first trailer was like focusing on like Michael B. Jordan with Ryan Coogler. They all, you know what they did, y'all. They did Creed and they did they've done stuff together, and we're putting them back together in a movie. It's called Sinners, and there's some angry people in the movie and everything. But Michael B. Jordan, so I'm looking forward to it. So that obviously made my list.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm excited for that one for sure. And then I mentioned, let me see, this one just looks like wow. Well, okay, since we're like John Wick fans, I don't know if anybody even liked this. I think it's the same people who made John Wick, but they made a different movie, and now this movie has a sequel. Nobody.
I didn't see Nobody. I didn't see the original.
With
I did see it on the list.
Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I saw the trailers and everything. I never saw the movie.
It's like, did you, was it Boy Kills World or something? With the guy who plays It.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Bill
Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's like campy John Wick. It's like if you saw like the Love Hurts with Ke Huy Quan like recently. It's
I'm gonna try to go see that tomorrow.
It's pretty much like that, but like, you know, Bob Odenkirk, like old man. I like the first one. You know, like I said, it's like John Wick campy. Like when he's like in the first fight scene, like it takes he gets knocked down a little bit just because like he's like, oh my God, and like I'm out of rhythm with it. But then once it gets started, it just keeps going. And I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't know it was getting a sequel until I was looking at the list too. So I have that one on my list as just like another honorable mention on it. Okay. And like another one just to add to that, just because it's like same kind of John Wick campiness, Novocaine.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me a little bit of Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
I was actually going to try to go see that. They did like a special screening this past Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was going to try to go, but... Dave, I got one for us.
What you got? Hit me.
I don't know how you'll feel about this, but Megan 2.0.
I mean, okay.
I didn't know how to take that reaction. I didn't know if it was like yeah, or like
I liked Megan. I did. I thought it was a cool movie. I see where you're going with this, Meg, because we both share the love of Child's Play. I do not know if this idea and this character is strong enough to hold a second movie. I almost feel like Megan might be better off as a one-off. I think they're trying to franchise it, and I don't know if it's a strong enough idea.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh, hey, it's fair. We're being honest here.
Again, is it a movie that I want to see do poorly? No. I mean, I would love for it to be great. I just I don't know. My expectations are tempered on this one. This is definitely going to be a stream movie for me. This is we're ready to watch in your living room. You can walk away at any time.
I really like the first one. I mean, I felt it was a little bit of a bait and switch. I thought that the advertising was a little bit more horror, more scary, but then it turned into like a horror comedy.
Yeah.
And that, sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't. I felt it worked in this instance. Some of the things I've heard, like the idea is like something else has been made by another company that's very similar to Megan, and it's worse. So they're rebuilding Megan to fight the bad company that's...
It's a Tesla robot.
Yeah, okay, so spoiler alert, at the end of Megan, somebody stole the files and gave it to Tesla, and they're deciding to make. But that is yeah, that's basically what happened at the end of Megan. It was like somebody stole the files and everything. Another company got a hold of them, and then in this one, that's what's supposed to happen. So I think they're going to try to make her, they're going to try to Terminator 2 it a little bit, bring her back and have her be a good guy. So
let's talk about worst case scenario. In worst case scenario, this becomes a Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends moment where these robots start by fighting each other, but then realize they need to team up and work together to fight a different evil that we knew nothing about. That's a much greater detriment to society. That's
robot dogs.
In my heart of hearts, this is what I feel like it's going to happen in this movie.
It could be. What would be awesome is like it's like all a trick. Like it's really her that they built Megan to fight Megan.
That could be cool.
And that it was her idea so they would build her a body. Like there'll be something wrong with the Tesla version of the robot, and then she wants her original form back, and it was all a ruse to try to get them to build her body, and then she gets her old body back. So, you looking forward to it, Jim?
I didn't watch the first
Dave.
one. I've seen clips of it. I don't know. I just like those kind of like the Black Mirror, and I went to go see Companion. I thought that was like a pretty interesting story, just because I think the twist didn't get spoiled for me. I think in one of the trailers. It was still like an interesting and like original concept to me, just because I feel like I don't gravitate towards those like AI like taking over, like the more recent, like I've seen like Terminator and all that stuff too, or like Ex Machina, but I just feel like it's just more and more kind of storylines of like a female AI robot taking over, or there's a situation around an AI robot, to where I just feel like it's more of the same. But if the first one was good, and I'll probably have to wait till the trailer for Megan 2 and see if they're going to do anything. Because all I remember from the trailer is her doing like a weird dance, and I'm just like, okay, this is like, nah.
Yeah, they haven't shown like much of the plot of the second movie. They just released like a couple pictures of the girl like working on her robotics, like making a new Megan, and then the dance trailer, because that went viral for the first one. I did cut you off by accident, Dave. What were you going to say before?
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're good. Like you said, the original movie, they leaned more into the horror aspect, and it ended up being more of horror comedy. And I think what I've seen from the second trailer, they really leaned into the horror comedy right off the bat, which scares me a little bit, because if they were so nonchalant about it and selling it as horror in the first movie, and that's what we got in the first movie, I'm a little bit afraid that they're going to have that same kind of flip to it, but it's going to be really extreme. You know what I mean? Like the comedy wasn't as present in the trailer as it was in the movie, and if they do that same thing again this time with where they started in the trailer, it means the movie itself is going to be over the top. Right. And I'm a little nervous that that's going to be the case, because like you said, that was like, the thing that went viral is the dance, and like, they were like, okay, well, people really enjoyed the comedy aspect of it, like let's go balls to the wall. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know, it's scary. It's a scary situation.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the cool thing though is like the unrated version. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes.
See the unrated version. Okay. Well, the unrated version was much better than the one that was in theaters. So
darker.
Yes.
Yeah, darker for sure.
Yeah. Jim, you got more?
I'm gonna skip over the Thunderbolts. Based on the conversations, I'm not really. I'm not like super excited about it either. Especially like when I saw the trailer of like the villain just turning people into shadows. I was like, how are these Avengers Rejects gonna stop that? I'm just like, so I don't know. I like just following the the storyline of wherever this is going, but it's not something I'm like, I gotta go watch it. I'm actually really excited to watch. Like when I saw the trailer, I don't know. It's not a Fast and Furious movie, but it has to do with cars. F1 with Brad Pitt.
I'm excited for this.
I don't think I've heard of that.
I love the footage that we've seen from the trailer, and that like aspect of they're really trying to make it very realistic and like give you that feel like you're in, like we saw it a little bit with the Gran Turismo, and it's like that feel of like being in the car, and I love seeing those scenes, especially on a big screen. It's so great. Like
it gave me like flashbacks to like Ford versus Ferrari, and like I really love that movie. Some of the scenes you kind of feel like it was like a little too CG. This, like exactly how you said, it makes you feel like you're in the driver's seat. Like I want to watch this in IMAX, feel the sound, the rumble, the adrenaline of doing like the tight corners, of going on this journey with the company and building the car for Formula One. It was just Chris, like after this you got to go watch the trailer.
Okay.
And but headphones and everything, and just like feel immerse yourself in the whole experience of what they're trying to do. I'm really excited about that one.
And I think one thing that's really exciting is like the Brad Pitt that we see in the trailer is giving me shades of like Brad Pitt Moneyball, like that same like almost kind of demeanor and vibe. And it's one of my favorite, like it's one of my favorite styles that he brings to characters. It's not so much that like overly cocky like Ocean's 11 or like Tyler Durden. It's like a more subdued but still like highly intelligent, like quippy Brad Pitt. And I love when he plays that type of character. Don't get me wrong, I love Tyler Durden. I just
just Tyler Durden in Formula One. That's not
it's not the right combo. It's not he brought the
Furious. We have those.
Yeah, we have those. Yeah, no, family. It's all about family, guys.
It's all about family. Okay. Next on mine, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Drop the mic, Chris. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
You can't. It's expensive. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I think I'll go on a limb and say, like, I think I like the other, or the second of the summer movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the sequel. I still know. I like that one a little bit better, but it's a legacy sequel, and I think it's got Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt coming back for it. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Jim's not interested. He's drinking now. I made him say. So, we don't really have much to say. I mean, there's not much details on it.
I think at this point we're both just being quiet just to like make you uncomfortable, and I love it. No, like I mean, like you said, dude, it's a legacy sequel. Like obviously I'm a fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is very much, again, for me, a movie, and this happens a lot with legacy sequels. I'm never really super excited about them. I definitely am excited to give it a shot and see what they do with it, but my expectations are always super low. Just to see the characters brought back on screen again is always just kind of like fun. So there should be some hype around it. Again, I'm gonna wait for this is a stream night for me. Once it hits Prime or something like that, I'll go, okay. One thing I will say though is like I had the hugest crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I don't know if I want to see her right now. Is it gonna ruin it? Is it gonna ruin it for me? Just kind of want to remember her as she was.
I've seen her in interviews lately. I mean, she definitely looks a little bit different, but she still looks pretty good.
We're doing it. We do it live. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
see. Let me see what you're looking at, Jennifer Hewitt.
We did it live, ladies and gentlemen. We did it live.
I still remember, so
That's not my ghost whisperer. I remember.
Oh well. Thanks, Chris. That was fun. You got any more?
Honestly, and to just like basically say the same thing. I'm never excited for them, but if I had the chance to go and watch them, I will. Like Scream, I went to go watch Scream. The Halloween, reboot, I went to go see Halloween. I think the last Chucky movie, whatever it was before it was a TV show, I think I went to go watch that one too. Like I remember those from my childhood, but I'm never jumping at it just because it's not the genre I'm like attracted to or drawn to. It's like something I do, or like something I go, like it's more like an event I go with like friends. It's like for me, like horror movie is a lot more enjoyable when there's other people there, either getting scared, throwing popcorn at each other, critiquing the movie afterwards, and just going like, oh my God, they stabbed him 47 times and he still gets back up. or like, oh my God, it was so obvious he was the killer. Or it's like, oh, like that came out of nowhere. Like
47 rookie move. You got to go 48.
yes.
But I think they're a lot more enjoyable to go like with other people. So like that'll probably be instead of like even catching it at home, I'd rather watch a movie I've never seen before that's already out, or just catching up or building up to something else rather than catching something like that at home. So it's more of like I don't know, like it's like a group event that I'd probably go and watch.
It's settled, guys. But we got to watch it all together now.
Yeah.
I'll go to New York.
Clearly, the writing's on the table. We need to go together.
Come to New York. We'll all head to the theater. Jim, I want you to wear your Superman costume though when we go see it. So it's got to be under the suit, and you got to order the popcorn. But
I mean, I'm already gonna start doing that anyways. But okay.
Yes, you got to bring that with you. Yeah. So the only thing that kind of makes me a little bit nervous about I Know What You Did Last Summer is they had already started filming by the time Jennifer Love Hewitt signed on. Sometimes that's not a good sign. So.
So it's because movies like famously like that. I think like even like movies like that, like they'll have some sort of direction and they're like, oh my God, do you want to be in this movie? Oh my God, great. Okay, we got to scramble and write your character in, your storyline in. Like I don't know. I'm assuming that's the case, or that's what you're worried about.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it's like, okay, they sign on and then they either have like a small part or they get killed right away, especially with like horror movies. Not all the time, but sometimes like this, I know there was photos on set, there was like stuff, and then she was, like I said, I was seeing her do interviews. She was doing interviews while they're filming, and then just like, yeah, no, I haven't heard anything. We're kind of talking about it, but nothing official. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, yeah, now I can. Yeah, I have been cast. I'll start soon. So it's one of those things. It doesn't really mean much, but it could at the same time.
I feel you, man. I mean, it 100%, I think, has to do with her level of involvement in the project. I mean, is she a cameo death, or is she a main character? You know what I mean? Or is she somewhere in between, right? And I think if you're talking about like, oh, we're really just doing this as a cameo, you know what I mean? Like her signing on late is totally fine. If you get like 25 minutes into the movie and she shows up and then suddenly she's been around for like the entire rest of the movie and seems like she's playing a very important part. Yeah, I'm probably a little nervous, you know what I mean? That she signed on so late and she was probably an afterthought.
Yeah, because I mean, like Freddie Prinze Jr. is like in it. And I'm like, that seems kind of, weird for him to be the one that they're going to focus on or kind of focus on, but I don't know. So, Jim, what you got next?
I have 2 more on my list. Actually, 3 more. I think I had mentioned the other 2 in passing, and then I have a grand finale that's going to take my man card away. So I'm going to build up for that one.
Okay.
Final Destination Bloodlines. I grew up watching like the original Final Destination movies. Like that's something like I'm definitely going to go to the theaters for, and just create more unnatural fears that I have now.
Like driving behind trucks that have logs on the back of them.
Or it's like I always thought like the knife block in my kitchen is just gonna like tip over and just stab me one night.
When you like go to bend over or something and pick something up, I'm like, oh no, the knives! They just
like no, like I'm gonna like wash dish. Like I'm always like have one eye to the knives, and I'm washing dishes, and it's just gonna like tip over, and they're all just gonna stab me in the chest. That's my irrational.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Final Destination has got some really cool imaginative death scenes, and I just heard that Tony Todd did film some scenes for it. So I don't know if this is his last role, but might be next to last. So I'm looking forward to it. Plus, it has Breck Bassinger in it. Did you guys see like Stargirl or anything? The show.
I'm always down for Final Destination, though.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies that just literally has just stood the test of time. That's just like, it's one of those movies that I feel like you give it like a lot of leeway just because the idea itself is so creative, and you're so like like Jim said, you're so like entwined on like the events that are going to happen that you're like, as long as they don't basically repeat one like step by step, I'm here for it. Like I want to see what they come up with. Because it'd be like, the guy's in the backyard, and then this bird flies over, and then this nest falls out of the tree, and the tree falls down, and then cuts a rope, and the rope has an axe on it, and then the axe swings over there, and you're like, what the hell is happening, man?
Exactly.
Exactly. As long as they don't go Fast and Furious level with it, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime I come to a railroad crossing, I think of the original one, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just one of those things. So
I think I'm that more afraid when I get on a roller coaster because of the third one.
I was going to say, dude, you get on the roller coaster and you're like checking the bolts and like shaking it. Like, I don't know.
It's like you shake it, you're like, hey, can we tighten this up? You saw the third one? You saw it?
Yeah. Three. It happened in three. Guys.
Okay. I do have quite a bit left on the list, but I think.
Oh my goodness! I'll have like two more after this. That's it.
You got two? Okay, I have. It's written down. We don't have to go through them all, but I got like 3.
Chris is gonna hit us with a rapid fire round.
Chris is excited for every movie this year.
He's got 2 pages. This guy, 2 pages.
Chris is excited for every movie this year.
Pretty much.
Which Bollywood movie is your favorite this year?
Well, I have got Dave. I know you'll probably be down for this. The Conjuring: Last Rites.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
He's like,
I was waiting.
I thought Jim was gonna say something, so I was just like, I was waiting.
Oh, here. Sorry. Hold on.
There you go. Yeah, no, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for the Conjuring. You know, I'm always here for the Conjuring. Yeah, Conjuring can do no wrong.
Yeah, and it's the last one, unfortunately.
Is it?
Supposedly.
Is it?
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, unless it makes a boatload of money. Then the next one will be the last one.
Yeah. Conjuring Last Rites 2.
Last Rites 2. Conjuring Last Rites 2. Tricked ya.
Yeah.
Because if they want to bring it back, it'll be like Conjuring Revival, unless that's already a title. I don't know.
But, yeah, they always do a good job. I think it's pretty cool. I like the actors. They do a good, it's a good story, It led to a really huge franchise, so.
I'm here for it.
Jim, I take it you're not excited? Have you seen any of them?
I haven't seen any of them. Like, to me, they're like the Fast and Furious of horror movies.
You should give the original one a chance.
And then after?
I wouldn't be disappointed if you didn't go any further.
I would say the second one. The first two.
I'm a fan of the first two.
Yeah.
But I would say that, like, the original Conjuring movie is really, really well done. And I think the idea of it being based on true events and the way that they kind of used those quote unquote true events to develop the storyline, I do think it's worth the watch, even if you're not a horror fan. I think it just is a really well done movie. And I think if you want to call it quits there, you could treat it like a standalone and just watch The Conjuring and just be done. I think you could.
I'll give myself homework. I'll watch the first two. And if I'm intrigued, I'll dedicate the rest of them to watch the rest for the new one.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with
we sold them, dude.
Yeah. I know. Little fist bump teamwork. Up, top, down.
I'm wearing the homework hat now.
Who did The Conjuring? Was it Universal?
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
Who did The Conjuring? Is it Universal?
I don't know. I thought it was Warner Brothers.
Was it Warner Brothers?
I thought it was Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. We got one. We got one. You send us checks. Checks
Warner
in the mail.
Yeah.
Checks in the mail, guys. Checks in the mail.
Yeah, for sure. So
Warner Brothers. Yep.
Is it okay? All right. What's your next one?
Let's see. I had mentioned
man card.
I had mentioned How to Train Your Dragon live action just because I love the trilogy. I'm like, it's like live action. It's like what we just said about like Lion King and all that stuff too. But it's like beat for beat. So I'm just excited to see it in a different light. 28 years later, I haven't seen the original, but this movie made me excited to go back and watch the original and then watch this one.
And Cillian Murphy's reprising his role, which I don't know if y'all seen Peaky Blinders, but man is a legend.
I mean, that and like Oppenheimer, him and the Batman. I mean, I'm just excited for that movie in general.
Very cool.
Cool.
How to Train Your Dragon, like I haven't seen any of the movies, but I gotta admit the trailer looks really good, and I think it's because it's live action. I like how the dragons look and everything, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. The story looks cool. I might go see that.
Unlike Game of Thrones, there's guaranteed dragons.
I'll be the one, and they're like, "Where's Khaleesi?"
They're like, Dracarys. Oh, wrong.
Yeah. For my next trick, I'm gonna tie a bunch together. That'll save a little time. I'm gonna go.
I just threw two in there, and we got past it in like 20 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the speed round.
Yeah, all right. I am going to add. I expect you guys to kind of laugh at me on these, but it's okay.
We do not judge; we listen.
Okay. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, Bambi the Reckoning, and I'll toss like Screamboat in there too. And Popeye the Slayer Man. I have now.
We made it to be horror, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, Screamboat and Popeye the Slayer Man aside, the other two are in a franchise. The Twisted Childhood Nightmares, the Pooniverse. I don't know if you guys have given the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies a shot. Have you not?
Not full shots. Not full shots. I've given glimpses and background noise.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The first one, the first Winnie the Pooh. I think we talked about this one time before. Like they were kind of filming that before they knew that they could release it, so they're just kind of like throwing the dice. So it's not great by any means necessary. The backstory is a little fun and interesting. The second one is much better. Still not a great movie. Like it's not award winning, but it's much better than the first one. And in fact, they treat the first one as a kind of like a TV movie made on the events of what happened. So you really don't need to see the first one. You just kind of gotta start from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey too. And like I said, it got a lot better, and they're adding a whole bunch of different characters, and they're getting their own spin-offs, and it's going to be like an Avengers style team up. And I'm here for it.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, they're doing like. Now, the Peter Pan one already came out, like a special screening, and Bambi is going to be coming up. There is a trailer for Bambi. It looks pretty sick. It looks pretty cool. You know, I don't know. It'll probably get a little bit better, I hope, than the other one, but they've improved every time. So, and I did hear good things about Peter Pan, the people that did go see the screenings. So there's supposed to be 1 or 2 other movies, and then they're all going to like come together for like a pretty gory good time. I mean, like the poster has Pooh riding on Bambi. Like, it's... It looks cool. I'm down for it. Now, the other 2, Screamboat, that is for Mickey Mouse. That is, we've got David Howard Thornton playing Mickey, and, you know, he's Art the Clown in the Terrifier movies. And I saw the picture. Picture looked okay, but, you know, I think they've had a little bit more time to make. I think it'll be better than Mousetrap. I think we talked about that before. Mousetrap, again, falls in that category of they made it while they...
Did not know if it was actually going to slip into public domain or not.
Yeah.
Very risky move.
Yeah. It's a bold move, Cotton. But, yeah, so it, you know, looks like it has a little bit more money behind it, and David Howard Thornton is a pretty cool guy, so looking forward to that. Popeye the Slayer Man falls into the category of we made this movie before we realized that, or we didn't know if it was going to be actual public domain. Looks good. There's also another Popeye movie that they're supposed to be doing that's also a horror movie.
Will it beat Robin Williams' Popeye? I don't know. I don't. There's big shoes to fill.
Yeah. So I don't know how you guys feel about those, but
I mean, I'm always down for B horror, man.
Yeah,
I call it B horror. Like at this point, like it's not really B horror.
It's mainstream now.
Yeah, it's almost mainstream now. I call it B horror, but it's not. I mean, it's it's horror, but this kind of low. I mean, this is how Terrifier started, with this like lower kind of like this lower run. You know what I mean? We've seen them break through. I'm always here for it, dude. I like the Leprechaun. Like, I'm always here for it. I'm always here for it. Send it my way. Give me the horror Bambi movie. Let me see what it's all about.
You guys definitely got to look up the trailer. It's short. I mean, it's not long, but it is.
Oh, I'm 100% looking up the Bambi trailer after this. Yeah.
I've got more homework now.
I'm
Yes.
so curious how this is going to work.
Okay.
Bambi just gets real sad at the death of his mom, and then like goes rogue.
The hunters thought they were safe.
Yeah. The hunters become the hunted. I avenge you, mother.
I think it says something like that in the trailer too. So
Chris, you know.
It's cool. Like he's like fully grown, got a full rack on it, like top. Like it looks pretty cool. So.
A buck knife and a grenade launcher.
He's gonna crossover fight the Predator in the new movie too.
This personal.
The one before I pulled my man card, I think I mentioned that one too. Avatar: Fire and Ash. I liked the first one. I loved the second one. And I'll just keep making these, or I'll just keep watching these until James Cameron doesn't make.
Okay. I have never seen any of the Avatar movies.
No, you get him, Jim, get him.
Chris, now you have some homework.
I do. I want to. It's not that I don't want to. It's just like I look at it and it's like 3 hours.
The first one, it's a little distracting watching it now because they do steal some like sound clips from like, you'll notice like Jurassic Park sounds in it. It's a little distracting when you watch it now, but when you watch the second one, the story was better. The visual effects were really good. Just the overall acting, the stakes, there's actually like, I feel like there's an actual like storyline here that you feel really connected with the characters in the movie. Just the visual effects are like, I mean, they really speak for themselves. It's just like if you're a fan of movies and like filmmaking and cinematography and all that. The second one really did a great job of just not only how to do a sequel, but how to improve on what was before and build on what is to come. Like, I was so upset that the movie ended. This was like 3 hours long, and I could have been here for another 2 hours if the story just continued and it was still great. But I just don't want this to just be another cash cow franchise that they're just turning out more and more. But I feel like James Cameron is careful enough to just not do that until I see this movie. Because like I don't remember the last one that came out. Maybe it was like 2 or 3 years ago. And the other one was like over, like, I want to say like at least 5 years, almost like 10, something like that.
Yeah, I think the original was like 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was like...
You don't need to watch in like the 3D and all that stuff, even though it was like made or built for it, for that kind of experience. But just watch the first one, enjoy it. Get to the second one, love it, and then I would say like the third one is like my anticipated one for December. You know, usually that's like a Star Wars month or like a big franchise month. Like I think we had like the Spider-Man one in 1 year, and I think even like Avatar came out a couple weeks after that. But this one, like I'm really excited for that one.
Okay, cool.
I'm here for it. You should see the Avatar movies. They're good. The reason why it's not on my list is just because I'm lame, and once like it gets super popular, I kind of check out. But it's like, I don't know. I thought the movies were great. I mean, I thought they were great, and everybody was like on the pedestal, like, this is the greatest thing that's ever hit the screen ever. And I'm like, I checked out, but it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first one when it came out at all. I watched it right before watching the second one. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh wow, I can see why people went to the movies and saw it on the big screen and 3D and all that. I can see why it was the biggest movie of all time. And then watching the second one, I was like, okay, now they're great.
Okay.
Worth the watch, Chris. Worth the watch.
Fair enough. Maybe I'll do it here soon. Okay, I think I know what's going to be on Jim's band card list. I have an idea, and I'm going to guess, so I'm going to leave that off. Black Phone 2. Okay. I really like the first one.
I just saw the first one recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool story, and I was hooked.
It was interesting, for sure. Yeah, no, it was interesting for sure.
Having a sequel to it, it seems like, where do you get a sequel?
That's my concern, too. It's a very interesting idea, and it's like, I don't know if you can... I don't know. Are they continuing on the idea? Are they going to try something new? I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't heard too much about it. So, but if it's anything like the first one, I'm here for it. Another rapid fire one, because this one is kind of under the radar. The Woman in the Yard looks interesting. You guys seen that? In the trailer
I've
for that?
not seen that, no.
So it's a horror movie, and it's about these people. I think it takes place in like the 20s, 30s. Something like that. And this woman appears in a cornfield, and she's dressed in black. And you don't like see her face. It's kind of like she's got a veil on or whatever. And like if you see her, that means like death is going to happen. Again, don't know too much, but looks interesting. I will definitely check that out. You guys might want to definitely check out the trailer.
I'll check it out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Saw 11.
This is clearly like the movie connoisseur, right? Like deep down the rabbit hole. deep down the rabbit hole.
I like to go. It's just it's been killing me. It's been storming here, like with all the snow and everything. I'm sure, Dave, I'm sure you got a lot of it too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, I've been stuck in the house, and I'm like, I really want to go see this movie. Like, why can't I go? I'm stuck in the house. The weather's bad.
To me, like now it's cemented. Like when I look at a movie in the theater, like who's watching that somewhere out there, Chris?
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen Saw X, did you guys see Saw X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You did too, Jen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I know horror's not your thing. I'm just making sure.
I saw that one. I think I saw. I didn't see the one with what's his name, Chris Rock. I didn't watch
Spiral.
Spiral.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch that one. I saw there was another one. There was like Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. Those were the last two I saw. I didn't watch Spiral.
Okay. Some of the sequels have been hit and miss, but I thought Saw X was like really good. It's one of the only ones that like really focused on Jigsaw. And I thought that was a really good movie. And so they say that that's the plan, is to keep it going like that. So I'm here for it.
Do it.
I'm gonna round up the buddies.
All right, Jim. What you got?
What's the guess? I'm curious if you guys can guess it.
Chris knows what it is.
I think I do.
All right, let's see.
Wicked for Good.
I'm a little excited. I've been incepted by my girlfriend. Okay, so the first time we went to go watch it, I'm a little bit of like an Ariana Grande like hater. I don't know why. She's like kind of like a little overrated. I'm like, like at first, when she came out, she was like cute or whatever. And then she got this like blown up persona I just didn't like or care for or anything. And then, so I had really low expectations when I took her and my niece to go watch the movie. We drove. It's like, okay, so the night before, they're like, okay, yeah, we made plans to go buy tickets, whatever. I was like, okay, no, I'll wait the day of to get tickets. We had to drive like to a theater, like out of our way, like probably like 45 minutes over just to get any seats. Like this was like huge. I'm like, oh my God. And I told them like we made plans and everything, and I didn't want to disappoint my niece. And we get there, long story short, I got chills. I loved the movie. Like the hearing the behind the scenes, hearing everything. I know my man card is getting shredded. The music, the story. I was like, oh my God, the witch is the good guy, and it was done wrong. And Ariana Grande's character eventually turns into the whatever. And then I was like, oh my God, like this is all. Like there's so much behind the scenes, and it deepens and there's so many layers to it, and the songs and the singing and the cinematography and all that and the choreography. Like there's so much behind the scenes that I did appreciate it, that it didn't feel cheap. Then I for Valentine's Day, I got my girlfriend, I bought the Blu-ray for it for my collection, and then I showed her there was commentary from Ariana Grande and the other girl, and we were watching some of the scenes. I was like, oh, okay, this is they're bonding, and they're like, oh my God, what did my hand do there? What were my feet doing? And that scene's I accidentally slapped you with the stick or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, they're just they're hanging out. They had fun making this movie, and I kind of liked that they enjoyed the process and they enjoyed the movie. And the experience, and they were using lapel mics to sing, so they weren't singing over it. It was them singing in the scene, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So now I'm excited for the sequel. Okay.
Look, I'm not gonna say that your man card is shredded, because I did go see Wicked too. So, and I had a problem when I went to go see it too. Seats were hard to come by. I had to stand in line a half hour for popcorn. Once I got into the theater, so the only seat I could get was way in the back. So I'm sitting down, and there's this guy with his girlfriend, and this guy decides that that's the perfect time for him to stand up and just stretch his arms and kind of just do this and stand for the entire movie. That's what was his plan. And before I could correct him, his girlfriend was like, sit down. She slapped him. Sit up. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I just got all these stretches. The movie just started. But I agree. The movie was good. It's almost that's what movies should be in a way. It's a lot of special effects, lots of singing. When you think of movies old school movies, that's what it was. Lots of glitz and glamour and songs and stuff. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It went on a little long for me, but I think I would definitely go see the second one. It's on the list, so I did have it on here. I'm with you there. I'm not going to eviscerate your man card.
Good.
Your card's safe, buddy. Your card's safe.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Dave, are you excited for it?
Oh, we were so close to just cruising right by this, man. As a lover of cinema and film, I appreciate what this movie represents. And like Chris said, this is where movies came from. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the story. So I have an appreciation for it. I do. That being said, I'm just not the biggest fan of musicals. So for me, not super excited for it. But again, I understand the appeal to it. I respect that it shows praise to, movies before it and stuff like that. So I'm excited that everybody gets to experience it. I definitely think it deserves a sequel with how big it was. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that it's getting a sequel. And if you enjoyed the first one, I can't imagine they stray too far away from the line.
Yeah, actually, I will say I was surprised because I did not realize that was a part 1 when I saw it. I was very surprised when, to be continued. I'm like, oh, shit.
I really, so that was one of my points. You should have heard me the drive there with them in the car. I was like, I don't the musical on Broadway in New York is shorter than this, and it's the full storyline, not just part 1. And I was like, I don't understand, and I got to watch this twice, and blah blah. And I'm just like, popular. You're gonna
popular. Now I got to eat a little bit of crow. Okay. My next one, Karate Kid Legends.
I was waiting for this to come up.
I'm excited. I'll go see it. I may be in the minority. I really liked the Jackie Chan Karate Kid. I was doing karate at the time when it came out, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh, huh?
Even though it was Kung Fu.
The Kung Fu Kid, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I liked it.
I could just want to say, really, I don't think Jackie Chan was the problem, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
What didn't you guys like about it, other than Kung Fu?
Jaden
Smith.
Jaden Smith. He's a terrible actor. He was and I don't even feel bad saying it because I know he was a child, but he was a terrible actor, and he got that job because his dad's Will Smith. He's not a good actor. He's
okay.
Just,
he got the job because of his dad.
Yeah,
but I didn't think he was that bad though. In that one, I was saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry.
Hey, no, it's okay. We're here for differing opinions. We battled over Superman already.
Honestly, I think this is gonna be a movie of just if there's a lull, I'll go and watch it. Just because I kind of fell off. I think maybe the last, I don't even know how many seasons of Cobra Kai. I think I've watched 3, maybe 4. I think there's 5 or 6. I don't know, but I fell off at one point just because it was a lot, and it was just and this person's back, and you think they're gonna fight, and then they're gonna team up, and then this person's back now, and then I was they're Fast and Furious.
I didn't even watch Cobra Kai, so.
Yeah, I do. That's probably another reason why I wasn't super excited for this franchise. I think Cobra Kai overstayed its welcome, and I think it burned out this franchise for a lot of people that watched any part of the show.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just overstayed its welcome. It had a nice nostalgic hit in the beginning, and then you were just kind of okay, all right, all right, that was an interesting choice. You know what? I'm kind of ready for you guys to wrap this. Are you going to get to an end point here at any time? And I feel a lot of people that watched Cobra Kai kind of felt that way, and I feel that fatigue has kind of set in on this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, like I said, I didn't watch Cobra Kai. It's one of those things that's every time I thought about it, I'll get to it, and then they're new season of Cobra Kai drops. So I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm so far behind, but the show is done, so maybe
Cobra Kai, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
You guys have dropped 7 seasons of Cobra Kai in between Stranger Things seasons. Can we get it? Can we get it together here, boys?
Yes.
Yeah, can we get the next Stranger Things? Honestly, that's what I'm waiting for.
For real.
Since we're on the topic of Netflix, I'm really looking forward to Fear Street Prom Queen. I liked the trilogy of the Fear Street movies that they did. I used to read the books when I was younger. Did you guys like the trilogy of the
Fear Street I'm gonna be movies? Honest. Is this something that needs to be on my list? Because I've never seen it.
Well, Jim's saying no.
No, that I haven't seen it. Not that it shouldn't be on his list.
Okay. I would give it a shot.
Okay.
at the very least. You know, it's one of those things. It's 3 parts, so it's like 3 separate movies. So I would definitely give the first one a shot. I think my favorite one was this part 2, because that's kind of like the traditional, you know, go to camp and there's a serial killer vibe. So I liked the second one the best, but they were pretty good. They were definitely setting up for more. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know if this one is going to tie into it, but it could. So it looks good. So I'm looking forward to that. And the last one I have on here, and this is probably a bit of a controversial pick too, but I'm looking forward to The Strangers Chapter 2. Did you see Chapter 1 either?
Of course.
Guys?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
What was it? Sorry. It cut
The
off.
Strangers.
Oh, The Stranger?
Chapter 2.
Oh, my
yeah,
God. Here
I'm
we-
looking forward to
okay,
Chapter 2.
I'm excited because I can't wait to play a drinking game while watching this movie because I didn't like the first one.
And that's fair enough. A lot of people didn't. The Chapter 1 was like very, very, very similar, and this is me being nice to it, very similar to the original. But the second one looks like it's really picking up on and going in a different direction. Like it's not going to be beat for beat.
Is there a trailer or anything for that one?
Yes.
Oh.
You just made
Yes.
Jim's night.
Yeah. And
Blood
you know,
and Honey, Chapter 2.
And, you know, they're going to do a third one because I guess they shot all these at the same time. So there'll be a Chapter 3, but it's supposed to, the whole trilogy is supposed to take place over 4 nights. So, and in the trailer for the second one, it looks real cool. Like she's in the car with who she's suspecting are the 4
Oh,
pillars
I think I
from the
did see the
first
trailer.
one.
Never mind. I think I did.
Yeah.
I'm still rooting for the bad guys in these movies.
Well, yeah, because I mean, she ordered a cheeseburger without the actual burger. So, like,
Blasphemy.
It's that and like picking up the shotgun and then like there's so much. I gotta. There was a lot in that first movie where I was just like I looked like I was Doctor Strange in the movie theater. I was just like.
it did drag on a little bit. I will admit, the first one, the Chapter 1 did drag on a little bit. I'm just kind of like, pick up the pace, do something. So,
Do anything, man. Just do anything.
Mm-hmm.
My list is complete.
Wow.
Finally, after, you know, page and a half.
Clearly, I came unprepared to this.
I like Dave's just like, oh, like 5 movies I might go see, and I got on my list of like 20. Like last year, I went to see 50. There was
And you could have done better, Chris.
Yeah, you had 312 other days, bro.
I know. Like, what was that? Well, some of them I saw twice. So, so I really did go more than 50 times.
Okay, all right, it's acceptable.
And speaking
But,
of last year, what do we think is
yes.
going to win Best Picture?
Where's my odds?
What we should. I don't have a list up here. Dave, can you like read the list of like what's nominated for Best
I've got
Picture?
the list pulled up right here too.
You got the list? Okay,
Yeah.
Somebody read the list.
All right, I've got no particular order. Emilia Perez, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here, The Substance, Dune Part 2, Wicked, Anora, The Brutalist. And we can eliminate some of them that we didn't watch.
Okay,
or
I think
we
I saw
have
like
no chance.
I don't think what was it? A Complete Unknown? Is that what it's called?
A Complete Unknown. Yep.
Yeah,
The
the
Bob
Bob
Dylan
Dylan
one?
one. I don't think that's gonna make it.
No, I don't see that one winning. I don't see Emilia Perez winning, and if it does, I'm questioning the entire movie just everything.
You know, it could. The whole problem is they got angry because she said something, right? So that takes it out of them out of the running, which is kind of shitty in my opinion. You know, like you make a good movie and you say something wrong, and that's gonna hurt your odds all of a sudden.
No, I'm upset about the singing and the acting. If any singing and acting movie is going to win, it's going to be Wicked.
I think we can eliminate Wicked.
You're going to eliminate Wicked?
I don't know if a musical in today's day and age, I don't know if a musical can win Best Picture.
I would almost agree with that. I think it deserves to be nominated.
I'm not saying that it's right,
right,
but I'm saying that I just feel like it's a precedent at this point.
Mm-hmm.
because it has its. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I just think it's gonna be very hard for a musical to win Best Picture.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it's going to be between. I almost think Dune Part 2 is going to take it, only because I don't know if enough of the critics or people who ever voted would say The Substance. But I was really surprised how, number one, I was not expecting the movie to be what it was. I walked out of the theater with the same amount of popcorn that I walked in with. And if people watch the movie, they know why. I just could not eat while watching that movie. Like, I already have like a needle phobia, and that's like the most. It's like a tickle compared to whatever comes after. And I haven't seen either Dune movie, but just for the scope and the story and everything of those movies, and from what I've heard, I feel like that also has a chance of maybe being Best Picture too.
You're gonna hear some typing for a second.
I tried to watch Dune, the original. I couldn't get into it. So I didn't see the second one. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to make the cut for Best Picture.
For me, I did a little look up here. I think for me, this is the same situation as Wicked. I don't think a part 2 wins Best Picture.
Okay, no, I can see that.
I don't think, and again, just like Wicked with the musical, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair to negate it just because it's a part 2.
Yeah.
But I think I just think it's a precedent. I mean, I looked it up, and there's been 2 movies that have been sequels that have won Best Picture. One was Godfather 2 in 1974, and one was Lord of the Rings in 2003. And I don't know. I just think Dude's gonna have a hard time. I think he's gonna have a hard time.
Yeah. I agree. I would like to see. I saw The Substance. I think it was good. I got the message that went along with it on aging and stuff. Like, Dave, did you see The Substance?
I did not. No,
you did not.
Oh.
Okay. It's good. It's definitely worth a watch. I thought the ending was a little weird.
Yeah, no, the ending was like super over the top.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for you, Dave, but
spoil it.
Okay, so basically the whole movie is like, it talks about like women aging in Hollywood or just aging in general. It also kind of points out like you got to take care of yourself when you're younger. Because the whole you know what the premise is, right? Like, she takes this drug and she splits off, and they got to kind of, she is you, that's where like the whole name, like Sue, that's where it came from. So it's just the ending I felt like didn't really help the cause of the movie, like the main theme. The only thing you can kind of get out of it is, they'll turn on you really quickly. But I mean, that was a very abrupt way to do that.
Yeah.
Not.
I mean, without spoiling too much of it, just because I feel like it would be an experience for you to just take in. It's exactly what Chris said. It's also like the beauty standards of just women in general and the expectations that not, like either Hollywood or society kind of expects from women. It's the appreciating what you have, because if you try to change too much of yourself, you either one, won't recognize yourself, or two, destroy what was already perfect, what was already good. And you just start slowly killing yourself in this movie, literally.
Yeah.
And it's body horror to like an 11.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's very like, you got to take care of yourself. Your younger self has to take care of, yourself, because if not, you'll look older and much. But it's definitely worth watching. It's definitely a trip. And I think it's because it's body horror why I would say like it may not. It probably doesn't have much of a chance at Best Picture.
That's the only thing that I'm like best movie. Everybody has to watch it. This is not a movie for everybody.
Yeah, especially the ending. The ending just goes like full gore, dude.
I mean, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely worth watching. My pick, I think Anora does have a good shot, because people love those kind of stories.
I think it's a 2-man race. It's Anora and Conclave.
Yeah, I mean,
did you watch Conclave?
I honestly not a fan of any movie on this list except for Dune. If I'm going to be honest, if you want me to be 100%, I get it. I understand why Best Picture nominees are Best Picture nominees, but if you're just looking at like enjoyable movies that I like to watch, Dune is the only thing on this list. So Which why it pains me to say that Dune Part 2 is not going to win because it's a Part 2. Because if you gave me this list of movies and said which one do you want to watch, we are watching Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I think my opinion, I think it's going to be Honora. I think Honora has a good shot.
And I watched Honora, and I wasn't a fan of, like, it led me, like, I think the first half was like a really good, like, where is this going to go? And then the second half is like, here, it takes you here.
It went exactly where you thought it was going to go.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, don't tell me.
To the destination.
Like, don't tell me it's going to, like, she's going to, like, I already see the seeds being planted of this other person that was in the background being a little bit more prevalent in the ending, and I'm just like, yep. And I'm just like, and it's almost like I was already disappointed at like a Joker 2. I was like, this was like what I almost expected Joker 2 was going to be, and this is it. Like,
yeah, I mean,
except it was better than Joker 2.
I thought it went on a little long. I will agree with that, but people like the prostitute with a heart of gold, or prostitute making her way out of the life kind of stories. striking it big. I mean, it was okay.
We have that story. It's called Pretty Woman.
Right.
It was done fantastic 40 years ago.
Yeah. But this one has a lot of nudity from Mikey Madison, so nothing says the arts like nudity, so they usually tend to give that kind of movie the Best Picture award. So I don't know. So that's my pick. What's your pick, Jim? What's your pick for Best Picture?
Oh man, I'm with Dave. I'm not like excited for any one of these to win like Best Picture, but this is the list. I almost think, you know what? Maybe just because it'll be like a movie everybody enjoys or can go back and watch and say this is Best Picture. Either it's gonna be like a weird like one nobody watched and it's gonna force everybody to go watch it. Either Nickel Boys, because I saw the trailer for it. Either Nickel Boys or A Complete Unknown. I feel like just because it's like popular choice.
Dave, do you care?
That's what I was waiting. Give me the Brutalist. Give me the Brutalist, baby. I'm doing it.
Did you watch the Brutalist?
I did watch it. It's the only one on the list besides Dune 2 that I actually watched.
I watched the Brutalist too. I mean,
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I love me some Adrian Brody. Fellow big nose gentleman. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest right now, guys. It's sitting in the third hole. It's a dark horse for sure. But you know what? Give me the dark horse. Give me the dark horse.
I feel like it has the same issue as Honora. Like really strong first half.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the intermission in the middle. That was kind of cool. But the second half, it like a lot happens in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it.
And it was just I was prepared for a little bit more than what I was shown.
It's the only premise on this list that got me to go see it. Ganora and Conclave, I just wasn't even interested in going to see. Rip.
Okay.
Rip. Rip.
Okay, fair enough.
Welcome to the last time I'm on the show talking about movies, guys.
No, you're fine, dude. It's just I didn't say. I don't even know what it's about, really, to be honest.
If Chris and I can love Wicked, we're fine, dude.
Yes, we're defying gravity. But personally, if it was me to pick what I would like to see win, I mean, I would like to see The Substance win, even though, horror guy right here. So I would love to see The Substance win, but my gut kind of says Honora might, just as the...
It's a clear favorite. It's a clear favorite right now. I don't know if we can say this on Chris's channel. But minus 200 on FanDuel. Get them bets in, guys.
Gamble responsibly.
Maybe you get sponsored. Maybe you get FanDuel sponsor.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be sick.
If you or a loved one are experiencing gambling problems,
please slow your roll.
I just think, I don't know, Conclave, like, I think I mistook it for another movie that also came out around the same time, where the other one was like Pastor, Spy. I don't even know what the other one was, but I kept confusing both of them.
Yeah, I almost went to go see Conclave, but by the time I had the time, it was out of theaters. It came out at that time, there was really nothing coming out. Like, there wasn't anything new. And I'm like, oh, Conclave's out. And I'm like, I'm not really sure what it is, but I'll go check it out. So, but I just missed the opportunity. It wasn't in theaters long.
Yeah, it's weird. It wasn't in theaters long. I mean, I think, like you said, there was like a lull. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just gotten some more love because it's like there was a lull in the action. So, like, it was the best available at the time, but like it didn't draw. It didn't have a lot of draw for me. It wasn't in theaters long, and you didn't really hear much about it afterwards. So seeing it in the second spot here is like, maybe it just wasn't a great year.
Yeah, to be honest, like I was a little surprised when they announced that. Like Conclave is nominated for Best Picture. I'm like, okay.
Like by default.
Yeah.
We have Enora and 6 others by default.
Yeah. So I think that's going to do it, right, guys? I think we completed everything all right.
No.
So I want to thank both of you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I love the convo. We always have a great conversation. Great insight. I like our insight.
Dream team.
Yeah, that's right. Bring it in, guys. Like up top. Come on. There we go.
Is so much further away than yours.
Reach. Teamwork makes the dream work. So before we go, tell the guys where they can find you. We'll start off with Jim.
I haven't been keeping up with my channels and stuff, but people can find the Pizzeria Podcast on every platform, and I feel like this year I need to step up. So I got homework to do now. I'm going to keep continuing on, or if not, I'm just going to keep guest spotting on here. Yes.
Okay.
Find me on here.
You're always welcome here. Cool. Dave? Working.
Got a lot going on actually. New channel, guys. Got a new channel. Just Zagscorn, Zagskkorn. Doing some new stuff over there. I'm gonna do some game reviews and do some movie reviews. We're gonna do best of series, which I got one coming out with the man himself, Mr. Chris, where we have decided what the greatest horror franchise of all time was, and I'm getting ready for some people to get angry about that one. Lots of good stuff going on over there. Also doing some Let's Plays, some long play series, doing a playthrough of Demon Souls right now, so if you like gaming, movie content, check me out there. Live stream on Twitch 3 days a week, and just at go to any platform and type Zagscorn in the search bar, and I'll be there doing something stupid. So,
all right. We'll definitely have that link down in the description. Jim, same for you and your podcast, and then we're already going to be tagged in it since you're going to be here. So, next time, Jim, you'll be here.
No, and it's actually like I actually stumbled upon Dave's Instagram channel too, and I was just like, I clicked on one of the videos, and then like I didn't realize that I was like, how you're on the profile, and then like if you keep scrolling, it'll just go to the next video and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just watched your stuff for like an hour. I was like, this is great. It's like, so guys, check it out.
Thank you, man.
Really funny. Like you have like discussions with about like comics and stuff, and like in your earlier channel I saw like the Dark Souls frustration clip.
Thank you, man. That's
so really great stuff.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
The jelly bean, I love that. Every time I watch that, I gotta watch it like 4 times. Oh, look.
There they are, man. There they are.
I was gonna say you should eat one now.
Do you want to do one?
Yeah,
we'll do one celebratory one. We'll do one celebratory one. You pick your color.
You just close your eyes and reach in. I want it. And
So I'll bring up my favorite. All right, this one right here is black licorice or burnt rubber. Right? Oh. Of course I get lucky. On your show. That's licorice, baby. That's licorice.
I wouldn't say that's lucky, but
I mean, when the choice is burnt rubber, that's pretty good. Don't worry, I won't dog you. We'll go again. There it is.
Oh, it's double licorice.
This side's licorice. This side's burnt rubber. This is sadness. Just sadness.
And with that, Fast and Furious 11, ladies and gentlemen.
Family. It's all about family.
If Fast and Furious was a flavor, it'd be burnt rubber.
Licorice burnt rubber.
Yeah. All right, guys. With that, thank you again for being.
We're good.
Guys, thank you again for being here. And we will see you guys next time. So, Dave is going to say goodbye. He means goodbye. He's not going to be able to say it right now, but I'm reading his mind for you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. We very, very much appreciate it. And thank you, Chris, for having me. Always a blast. Do us a favor. We were able to shout out our stuff before you jump over and follow anything of ours. Please hit the like and the subscribe button down below. Help Chris out. Amazing creator, been doing his thing for a super long time. Very, very deserving. Like and subscribe. It does help the channel grow, and we appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you.
Keep it
Thank
going.
you so much, man.
Beyond 2025. Let's go.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Later.
Boop. All right, guys, I want to give a huge thank you to Dave and Jim for being here today and having this great convo with me on upcoming movies and such. I'm super excited, super glad that they were here. I'm going to have Dave's information for his new YouTube channel down in the description. Jim, I'm going to have, we're linked here. You already know where he's going to be. He's going to be here, right? No, seriously, I'll have his podcast linked down in the description as well. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And with that being said, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the social media things. Help me fight the YouTube algorithm. Ring the bell. Be sure to check out thewellroundeddude.com. The website is really the hub of everything we do here. You'll find links to past videos. You'll find offers from brands that really believe in us and believe in you. And, a link to our Amazon merch page or items that I've curated that I think will really help you out. Some cool stuff, some great movies are on there too. And with that, we will see you guys next time. So take care. Go to the movies. Enjoy. Peace.